What's up to all our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop podcast. I'm sorry, the CultPop Barry, how do you say it? Barry Kogan? Kyogen. The CultPop Barry Kyogen Appreciation Podcast, episode 62, a show where we talk about movies and comics and breaking news and bathwater and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from the Young Junk HQ. Brian.
Hi. Young Junk.
A bomb-ass podcast production space in Philadelphia,
That's
PA.
a different later part of the show.
Oh, we're not live. We can do it again.
Yeah. Young Junk, Dylan, you can go ahead and use that as your jingle if you like.
Young Junk. Hi, Young Junk.
Yeah. I'm your tub water sucking host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. A rad-ass comic shop that caters to the rad-ass folks in Manayunk and also probably yourself, because I do mail-outs. With me tonight is Sam C. up in the chat saying, yo. Robert Monroe Jr. saying, what's up, Cult Poppers? Question mark, exclamation point. But with me here in the studio tonight is Brian.
Young Junk.
Noel.
Young Junk.
And special guest star, Alice from the podcast Inside the Morgue.
Hi. I'm very excited to be here.
I thought everyone.
Are we?
Like, isn't that just like normal etiquette when like somebody starts to like kind of clap a little bit?
Yeah.
No.
Or when you meet someone.
Anytime. Yeah.
When random people walk into the room.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that from now on.
Also with us is in the trusty producer booth is Dylan the Great.
If
I gotta be honest. Oh, thank you.
if there's no walls,
thank you.
Hey, Dylan, if there's existential question, if there's
okay.
no walls, is it a booth?
I was about to say,
shoot.
I was about to be honest with the viewers and listeners that there's no booth.
So
You're separated by your
there-
emotions.
with us at the IKEA table
Yes.
behind the screen there is Dylan.
Yeah. But, I mean,
More
unless
of a
we
home goods
consider this
table.
whole studio a booth that
No,
we are all
we
in
could.
together.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
all in
That's
this
cool.
together.
all
Dylan's in the
in
booth.
together.
Makes no comment about our
I mean,
location.
booth is a metaphor for where we all are
Glass case of emotion.
Last case.
ensconced in this friendship.
Booth.
I like that. I like that.
Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you know when we're going to be doing this here shenanigans.
Dingy dingy.
Sam says, I met Dill. Oh, shit. Sam says, I met Dill last week.
I did. We
They're
met on
already-
Saturday. yeah.
She's got a pet name for
Yeah,
the producer.
Dill, D-I-L-L.
Is it D-I-L-L or
It is-
D-Y-L?
it's D-Y-L.
Oh,
Dial.
I'll let it pass,
This
Sam.
one time.
How
but
much
just,
do you
just
actually
'cause you
know,
didn't know,
Yeah.
but now you know. But
his hair was down.
yeah, we were
he was
at
very
the,
attractive.
we were
How
at
did that happen?
the Micho Mission. We're doing a live show at World Cafe Live,
Oh.
and it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Nice.
They screened Love Jones, and it was cool.
That's cool.
I don't care. Yeah, Noel and Sam actually went to the Michaud Mission starring our frequent co-host Len,
Yep.
where they talked about.
Love Jones from 1997.
Yeah, I say yeah.
5, I think.
Damn it.
I just, because because I happened to look it up, trying to go.
Somewhere
to
between 94 and 98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
roughly.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
Jones
counting.
spot.
We're
love
counting
that.
all releases, theatrical as well as VHS,
Yeah,
DVD, the whole
Yeah,
night.
for sure.
It was the first time I got to see it. It was such a good movie. They don't make movies like that anymore.
Hmm.
As in just like
I've never seen it.
people talking, low stakes, hyper focused
cool.
on
Yeah.
actual relationships. It was
Yeah.
really good. It was really, really good.
All right, that was the intro, and I think it went really well. We're gonna move on to our next section, which I lovingly call.
Can we grade every segment?
Hey.
That was a C.
Well, I mean,
Oh, come
I mean,
on.
you
This
said it
is
went
my
really
first
well.
time.
Easily an A.
Yeah.
Well, you were an A plus.
It was
The
great.
rest of us were a C.
Performance was a C. Presence A plus.
Yeah.
Average B.
At the lowest.
Now we move on to the section that I call "What you been up to this week?"
Young Chunk.
And I'm gonna throw it to Brian.
Hey.
Brian,
Hey.
what have you been up to this week?
Thank you. JD, I recently watched a movie called If You Were the Last.
Oh.
How recently?
Within the period of time between a few minutes before I watched it and this moment. Yes. Which was over 1 week ago.
It's a very vague metric.
So
If you were the
Sorry,
last,
go ahead.
which streams on Peacock,
it does.
tell me more.
Okay.
But like
Peacock's
less.
available if for, I don't know, like $5.99 a month or
Oh.
It's
something.
$4.99 with
And-
God damn it.
We're not in with commercials.
Tell us about the
Oh,
movie.
no way. Oh, If You Were the Last.
If you were the
I
last.
saw that a little over a week ago, and so I loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable movie.
of
Very
story.
cool. What's that?
End of story.
Yeah. What more do you need to know?
Who's in it? Who's in it? I'm fucking
Anthony Mackie and Zoe Chow, I think is her name. She was also in The After Party. It's the only thing I know her from. Awesome. She's great in that and is in this. Anthony Mackie is always like very charismatic and fun, right? So it's this story of these two astronauts who are adrift in space, and their communications don't work, their propulsion doesn't work and won't work. Right.
I'm already stressed out. Just
No, it sounds like it would be, right?
Yeah.
But it's chill. These
What?
two, right? So they're in what seems to be a house, right? It's like the inside of a decent, smallish house. And, they like live there. They're hanging out with each other. The story of their friendship, their relationship is great, right? It's this really cool story. And whenever you see space, this is very interesting, I thought. It's in like a paper mache imation, right?
Oh, I love that already.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's cool, and it's very light and magical, right? And they're like kind of bouncing around Saturn. JD?
You say that they're adrift in space.
Yeah.
Are they to like their doom?
Yeah.
And they're just chill.
So they
Can't be freaking out every moment of the day. I guess.
That's
Yeah.
true. If everything's at
Just
11.
try me.
Yeah.
I
they've
can't.
been there for 3
Yeah.
years.
Challenge
It's like you guys ain't seen shit.
Yeah. These are two of the top astronauts in the world, I assume, because they went on this mission. They're
Or, I mean, losers with no lives.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
true.
Send
maybe
them
they
into
suck,
space.
and that's why they're adrift in space. They were like, get these fuckers
it's-
out of here.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
looking at the clipboard of all the appropriate astronauts, are like,
Oh.
you've won.
Listen, they didn't send them out to be adrift, so they didn't. Right, this was an
okay.
accident.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, what's the scientific purpose of like sending out to your death?
They did, right. Like we just thought we'd see what happened.
See what's
What you did. Like,
How
what
most
was it?
science
when you
goes.
say when you say paper mache animation,
Yes.
which is definitely a word now.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to Wes Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
where are we? In how like all exterior stuff is like ends up being stop motion or something.
You
like
don't
that.
see that much of it.
Okay.
It is. I could see a relationship, like drawing a relationship to Wes Anderson's kind of
The aesthetic.
style, but I would not have thought about that at all
Oh,
before.
great.
The color palette is very different for one
Good.
thing,
Yeah.
and it's used in a very different way. It's like a storybook when you look outside into space.
Cool.
It's cool. It has that feel, and so they have no way of getting home. And are you looking at the paper mache animation?
No, I want to see what else this director has done.
He's
He's done
he was. That's why I looked over.
Taylor Tomlinson, Look at You, Nueva Rico, Sam J, 3 in the Morning, and If You Were the Last.
A lot
So
of live stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
That one sounds
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Same
like,
shade,
probably
3 in the
first-
morning.
First full feature with a big enough release.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And so, so they're adrift in space, and it's just kind of they're accepting of it. It was 3 years ago that this happened,
I
right?
see.
So they've been there for a while, and they've got their routine. They do fun things, and they are sad about not being able to get back. They're both married, and
Oof.
yeah. So they let's see. They just
Don't spoil it.
no. I wasn't going to spoil it.
I'm going to watch this. This looks great.
What I was about to say is not a spoiler at all. I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten what it
Wait,
was.
did you just do the thing that I always do, which is I start a sentence and
Yeah.
then just halfway through the sentence forgot the rest of the sentence?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's not
Yeah,
just
they
me.
become friends. They're accepting of it, and they have their little fun routines. No,
Okay.
saying it again did not bring me to.
What? Okay. What
Yeah.
is? What
You
is
wanna try for a third?
what's the conflict?
later.
Is there a
Yeah.
conflict of the film, or is it just a buddy hangout?
It's just they can't get home, right? They have a thing that they can try that is like mathematically vanishingly possible. You know what I mean? Like they can do this thing that it's not about what is happening scientifically.
Sure,
This movie, and they can do this thing and try, right? But it's like we're never getting back. They're not. The opening conversation is about the Martian, and they're like, they're not coming to. This was in the trailer. They're like, they're not coming to get us.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of us. It costs this much money. We're here. You know.
Yeah.
And it's this really touching, heartwarming, very lovely tale.
Sounds
story.
great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. And their friendship is so great. Like I said, Anthony Mackie, always very charming, and Zoe Chow's great too.
You had told us about a show or a movie last week that I put on my list. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
What was it?
I shouldn't have brought that up because I forgot the name of it.
What was it about?
This is going well.
We're doing so good. You know what? D plus. I'm grading this section right now. D plus.
That was just my section of this section.
But no,
That's
my section
know,
of
right?
your section is a
Okay.
D plus.
I thought you were doing very well.
Thank you very much.
It actually made me want to see it. And space movies freak me out.
Here you go.
Like,
And it's,
I saw Gravity.
You're
yeah,
gonna see what I think
it's
you're gonna
very
say.
Sandra
tense.
Bullock,
It's very
and
tense.
I was terrified the whole
Yeah.
time.
Space camp.
No.
What?
Oh, damn it.
I was going to say Gravity.
Oh,
Oh,
Gravity. No,
yeah.
one of my friends dragged me to see that, and I hated every minute
Did
of
you
it.
see Life?
No.
Oh.
It's an
I do like
actual
The
horror
Martian,
movie.
though.
I never
So
saw
maybe-
The Martian.
Martian
I was
was cool.
I was afraid of NASA and space growing up because there's a movie that came out in the late 80s
Oh my God,
called
Space Camp?
Fuck you. We were the same age. I thought it stemmed from the same fear.
Yeah.
But no, it's a bunch of kids that went to like the stupid space camp. One kid makes friends with a robot who works at NASA, and
He works
the
there.
robot
Sure, it's on the
The
payroll.
kid.
sure.
Okay.
80s. Yeah. The robot ingratiates himself to the kid. The kid just wants to go to space and grow up to be an astronaut. They go, this cohort of children and teenagers tour the shuttle, and the robot makes it to where the shuttle lifts off. So it's
There he goes.
fucking kids in space.
Kids in space.
And it's treated realistically, so they actually have to figure out.
That's horrifying.
And
Yeah.
it was
one of them dies.
so horrifying. Well, they have to figure out how to actually like function and land a space
Sure.
shuttle from
Yeah, yeah.
orbit, and it was scary.
I think I'd have to do a lot of figuring
absolutely
out in
scary.
that situation too.
I remember I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, but I do not remember
I think it was
anything.
Kelly Preston and
Hmm.
Tate Donovan.
Sure. Who's
I don't
that?
know those people.
Okay,
Yeah.
80s.
yeah.
Hey, Noel,
Yo.
Huh.
since you're talking,
Mm.
what have you been up to this week? Huh?
Well, my wife and I finished The Bear.
Mm.
And because we finished The Bear, which I think we've all talked about over and over again, so it's not worth talking about. I went on an Io Edeberry tear and rented Bottoms. That's the actress in The Bear.
Thank you.
Oh, I love her.
The one who gets hired in?
Yeah.
Hired on? Yeah.
By the bear?
By the bear.
She actually, her name's Bear.
Oh, wow.
The whole show's about her. Yeah. She is in this wonderful comedy that came out last year with Rachel Sennott called Bottoms. It is a rated R raunchy teenager comedy about two lesbian girls who start a fight club / self-defense club in order to get the girls in school to think they're cool and make out with them.
I
That's all
saw
the
the
things I
trailer
love.
for this. This
It-
looks awesome.
It is awesome. It's hilarious, but it's an absurdist movie. I don't know, like the trailers just make it look like super bad, but it's more than that. It's there are some sequences that are like Top Gun level, or not Top Gun, sorry, Naked Gun level of absurdist.
Oh, sure.
And then it comes back down to just like teenage comedy.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a whiplash in regards to tone, but it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely wonderful. It's only available to rent.
Oh, okay.
It's not available to stream anywhere, which is aggravating.
Oh, I see.
It's only available to
How much
rent.
was it, though?
$5.99.
Ah, psht.
Not
Come
too-
on.
It's no $3.99, but
it-
it's all right.
It was not PC, but also PC at the same time. It was wonderful. It was
It wasn't punching down.
no, not at all. This is
Ha.
the
The Fight Club.
Sometimes they did though. The moves, I bet.
Marshawn Lynch is the MVP of the movie.
Stop.
He is a former football player that just is wonderful at
That's
actually
so
ad-libbing.
funny.
He is the stupid teacher who's not really stupid that they get to sign off on this stupid club, and he doesn't really show up, but he starts showing up, and he's just fucking hilarious. And this was totally worth a watch. It was great.
awesome.
I can't wait for more people to see it.
Bottoms. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw the trailer for this a while ago.
I'm loving all these like this whole new group of actors and writers. Rachel Sennott, Io Edeberry. I watched a couple months ago. I watched Bodies, which
Oh,
is a lot
yeah.
of shared cast. So good.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
It was a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. Let's
I
just
like
say it's
the-
a horror movie because
yeah.
if you talk about it not being a horror movie, then you almost allude to something else.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna check out Bottoms. Hey, Alice,
Hey,
what have you been up to
Hey.
this week? Huh?
I have been fully obsessed in every way, shape, and form with Percy Jackson, the show and the
The-
books.
And the Olympians.
And the Olympians.
Oh, okay, not just Perse.
Not just Perse.
Okay.
All the characters.
Do we call him Perse?
I mean, I do.
Does Perse?
Sure.
He hates it.
I don't think anybody calls Perse. At least as far as the 4th book, which is what I'm on
Is
right now.
Percy short for another?
Perseus.
Percival.
Perseus.
Perseus.
He's named
That's what I
after
said.
Perseus in Greek mythology.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew that.
I think JD in like if somebody is named Percy that you meet, it's probably Percival though, right?
Right.
Like
yeah,
in
yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah. Arthur.
Isn't it King Arthur? It's Arthurian, isn't it?
He was a knight, I
Percival's
believe.
The brother. I'm trying to think of
Oh, hey,
my
Costa's here.
That's
my fiance.
knowledge of the stupid book that we once in future.
There you go.
Oh, Costa loves that book, and I think he's in the chat.
Hi, Costa. That sounds fascinating, he says.
Yeah.
Sam C says, it's amazingly horrifying and hilarious. Does that mean the
Bottom.
The
Bottom.
bottom. Yeah.
And then it's definitely supposed to take place in the 90s when we were all in high school, but there is one girl who screams, "Slay!"
Oh yeah,
And I love her.
It's pre smartphones.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing is pre-smartphones.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But anyway, Perseus is my dad.
Oh,
Says Gon-
He is Greek, so, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, the Percy Jackson series, where all the Camp Half-Blood, which is where all the demigods go, it is on Long Island, which is where
Oh.
both of us are from.
Oh,
So he
Wait,
could
yo.
be, he could be telling us the truth.
Okay, I
I have no evidence
is that his
otherwise.
lineage?
you
I
haven't looked into it?
I haven't.
Oh,
As
I
a-
just engaged him.
Interesting.
He really knows him.
I barely really know him.
as an
He
old
told me he was a
That's all I
demigod.
need.
I said yes.
as an oldie, I've known nothing about Percy Jackson, not the
Okay.
books or nothing. So without interrupting you, just lay it all out.
All right, I'm also a little old for it, and I'm going to give credit to my younger sister for getting me into this. So my sister and I have a pretty big age gap. We're 7 years apart. And so something I would do when I was like away in college is I would take an interest in whatever she was reading. So she got so into Percy Jackson when she was like 11 or 12. So I read the first 2 books, and they were really good. And then unfortunately, I took her to see the movie, and the movie sucked. At least in my opinion, I thought it sucked. It was awful.
2 of them, right?
Yeah, they did make 2, so maybe some people like the first one, but we weren't fans. But we've both been really excited about the show because they actually cast actors that are children, that are the age they're supposed to be, and it seemed like a better adaptation of the book, and it was so good. So basically the story is this kid, Percy, he's been kicked out of every school he's gone to. Trouble always has a way of finding him. He doesn't know why. He has ADHD, and he's dyslexic. He has trouble in school, can't figure out stuff. He's never met his dad. His mom's always like mysterious with who his father is. And then one day at school, they're on a field trip and he just gets attacked by like a mythical creature. Stuff happens after that. I don't want to give too much away. He finds out he's a demigod. So his father is a god. And he goes to this camp that's supposed to protect him called Camp Half-Blood. And he ends up going on a quest to stop the lightning thief. And
Closer to the mic.
I'm sorry.
says Terry Lady.
I'm new to this. Yeah.
Concerned viewer.
I know. That's crazy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
By the way, Terry, you've got books to pick up. Come get them.
But yeah, so he just goes on this whole adventure, making friends who are also demigods, and they meet actual gods along the way. I don't want to give too much away, but it's such a good story, and it's definitely like for kids, especially the first season of the show and the first book. But the books seem to like mature along with the readers, and I'm looking forward to that happening with the show. So yeah, I really loved it. I just watched the finale like an hour ago, and it was so good. And they did make some changes in the show, but I think they were really good changes, like making it better for like a TV format.
Well, the author is directly involved in this.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
he is. I don't think
Cool.
he was with the movie.
I think like vocally.
Yeah.
not. And he was like, you don't have to pay me. I'll write it
yeah,
better. They said,
yeah.
"No, we're
He was
good."
very not.
Yeah.
Rick Royden was very not.
Yeah.
Pleased.
Before it became something I don't like to talk about. That was actually the joy of reading the Harry Potter books. The fact
Yeah.
that they actually did age up as like
Yeah.
the reading
Cool
level
thing.
aged up
Yep.
as the characters were.
I
got
was
older,
just
and I loved
telling
that.
JD about
Yeah.
this. Unfortunately, J.K. Rowling sucks now, or she
Yeah.
always did.
She always did.
She's just
more
letting us
public
know
about it.
now.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, that's something I thought like, because I was a Harry Potter kid growing up. That was like the series I grew up with, and I was really excited when my sister started reading Percy Jackson because like that was her Harry Potter. Except as far as I know, Rick Royden isn't awful.
He's not awful.
Seems
I think he's pretty cool. Fingers crossed.
How many books is it?
I think there's 6 with the Percy Jackson series. I'm very new with the whole Percy Jackson thing, but I think he does other series that are other mythologies. So
in
Percy
the same
Jackson.
universe?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
So Percy Jackson's the Greek mythology one. I know there's one my sister also read that was the Egyptian mythologies
Ooh.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
nice.
So Yeah, I think collectively there's a ton of books, but I think just for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I think it's 6. I'm on book 4 now, and it's so good.
Have there ever been comic adaptations for these? How have there never been?
There are. Yeah, there are graphic novels for the Percy Jackson series. Yep. Faux show.
I'll just shut the fuck up.
Did you read them?
I haven't. No. Although I'm kind of tempted to check out the show.
It's a fun show. It's a fun show.
Jason Mantzoukas is in it too.
Yes,
right?
he is. He's Dionysus. He's the god of wine. He's so good.
It's fun.
Yeah. But it's really cool seeing like the modern adaptations of the Greek mythology, and you actually do learn a lot about Greek mythology.
Oh, so it takes place now.
It's present day.
Gotcha.
Present day, or I think the show is present day. The book came out in 2005.
Okay.
So way closer to now than ancient Greece.
Yeah,
okay.
At least I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think.
Okay. The grand scheme of time.
Right. You were closer to Cleopatra than she was the beginning of the pyramids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The beginning of the pyramids. Why would you phrase it that way?
Yeah,
but it's
that's
true.
weird.
I mean, when they started building them.
At the beginning of the pyramids.
Yeah, that's fine.
The first guy was like, we should do.
It's an effort, and the effort started.
I'm gonna need more guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. We're gonna
I cannot do this by myself.
You're right.
I can just think of like the one that was just like, fuck. I need help. We all went around the room talking about what we did this week, and that's all of us. So let's move on to
nothing more important to say.
JD, have you thought about me lately?
No.
What have you been up to?
Hey, I've been up to watching. No, I didn't watch anything. I did watch some things. Oh, you know what? We are watching. That's ADHD.
Cool.
Welcome.
That was cool.
We are watching the second season of Fargo.
Huh?
Oh yeah, season 2 is
God.
dope. It's
Awesome. The cast is
7 or 8
ridiculous.
years old, but
yeah.
JD,
Anyway.
what was that show you put on the list about from last week?
I don't remember.
I thought it might have happened.
Shit. So what I've been doing is reading old Superman comics for some reason.
Cool.
I don't know why. You know what? I do know why. Because Len, very good friend of ours, was reading a John Byrne fan fiction that John Byrne had done. He's just been doing it over the years for himself, and it was like to continue the X-Men run that he was doing back in the, I guess, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
I think. Yeah.
And that got me on a John Byrne kick, and I went back and I started reading one of the first comics I ever started collecting, which was Man of Steel by John Byrne, which was a 6-issue miniseries that came out in 1986, directly after the Crisis on Infinite Earths debacle. And they had to reboot all of DC, and so they gave John Byrne Superman.
They had to.
They
were affected. This great crisis was upon them.
And DC was like, I guess we'll restart.
You have to reboot.
I like that you described it as a debacle.
Yeah.
It was quite the trying experience.
Right?
For the characters or for the publication?
It's a little bit.
I'm sure for everybody.
All around.
Half it doesn't matter.
But going back and rereading John Byrne's Man of Steel has been an absolute delight.
Cool.
Such a fun. They've come out with I think 4 hardcovers at this point. So the first hardcover had how many? 5. Has the 6-issue miniseries, and then just keeps going with John Byrne's Superman series that he was writing and drawing.
Yeah.
And it is just so much fun. And the way that I forgot how good he is of an artist. His pencils are fantastic. I think Terry Austin probably inked them. But just the way that Superman is built, he's the Superman I think of whenever I picture a Superman.
Because this was one of the first comics you started collecting. Very cyclical.
And, it all makes sense.
And just the way, like when Superman is flying through the air, the way that he will maneuver Superman's cape in the wind, like if he's going up, the cape shoots down like in between his arms and like covers his body almost. I think for some reason, I think that John Byrne just got the physics of flying as Superman more than many artists that I've seen over the decades.
Cool.
Like, who've come since him. So yeah, highly recommend. If you guys have never read the John Byrne Superman stuff, grab yourself the hardcover Man of Steel. It is awesome.
I apologize. Yeah, I think it's 4. I'm sorry. 4 volumes.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought maybe I was just missing the 5th one.
I thought there was a 5th one. You know, there's probably like other John Byrne stuff that they could have collected in a 5th, but this was just the full run.
And one of my favorite storylines is in, I think it's Superman 2 or 3, and it's Lex Luthor has made no bones about the fact that he's going to murder Superman one day.
Okay.
And
publicly, not publicly,
not publicly, but to Superman's face.
He's like, I'm going to murder you. This is going to happen.
And he sends all of these people after him, all of this technology to try and get pictures of him and to torture Lana Lang and to ransack the Kent's house. Like he knows there's a connection between Clark Kent and Superman.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They torture Lana Lang, and she winds up escaping and hiding in Clark's closet, and she's all battered and bloody.
But how does he like? So he knows there's a connection, but he doesn't know he's Clark Kent.
Right.
But then he later leaves them. He's like, I guess that didn't work.
Well, they put it into this machine.
Sure.
This 80s machine.
Oh, is that? Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And
yes.
They put it enhanced.
Yeah.
Enhance.
And it enhances it, if I remember the cover, into a series of black squares.
That's true.
That look kind of like this picture.
Yeah. It was like looking at a Game Boy.
Yes.
Tetris. But
you mean perfection?
Yes. Anyway, he winds up feeding all this information that he's gathered into a machine, and then the machine just spits out Clark Kent is Superman.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they actually did it.
Yeah.
He knows. But then Lex goes, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. There's no way that a being that powerful would ever stoop to not rule. Like, he's going to pretend to be some schmuck.
Superman all the time.
And like he's so full of himself that he's given the answer and he's like, nah,
no way.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever.
And he gets pissed at the person who
So not only does he get pissed at Amanda, the scientist who's feeding all of this, collating all this information, but she is also a woman who works for him. And he's like, hey, we're going to have dinner tonight. He like takes her hands. He's like, we're going to have dinner tonight. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm really flattered, but it's not really good for me. And he like crushes her hands until she says yes. And then she winds up, and you can see her inner monologue because they tell you. And she's like terrified to be in his home.
Right.
And wants to leave, doesn't know how to leave because she knows that he can just destroy her.
Yeah.
Murder her or whatever. And then in the next morning, she's still there in a robe. So like he just forced himself on this poor woman and then fires her because she tells him that Superman is Clark Kent.
Oh, she gets fired too.
Yeah,
that's probably
That's probably the easiest way out.
You get low. It's the beginning of something good.
But yeah, I was surprised at how dark that some of it was.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
and so that was that early. How far have you gotten in Man of Steel?
The first 6 issues, and then the first 3 or 4 issues of the ongoing Superman.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
I've never read it.
Oh, it's really fun. It's really fun. And I'm also rereading the Jeff Johns and Gary Frank Secret Origin.
That I've read, and it's fucking awesome.
That was really good.
For some reason.
I really loved that. Oh, it's a good kick.
For someone who grew up kind of like saying, I don't like Superman, he's boring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Superman stories that I really like.
Right? Yeah. All-Star Superman, which I was reminded of. You remember when there's that one episode where he's Clark Kent the whole time and there's something going on in the prison.
Yeah.
And he and Luthor are together for a while, and he gets so pissed at him that he takes his glasses off and yells at him. And Luthor still is like, "You're a doughy reporter. Kent, get out of here." Yeah.
What an idiot.
Did you read Up in the Sky?
I read some of it. Or no, was that the short stories that was released digitally originally?
No. They were released at like Kmart or Walmart.
Right. I think I ended up reading some of them.
I think, right?
I definitely read one of the flash ones of those.
Superman Up in the Sky, Kubert. Yeah, Tom King and the Kubert boy.
Andy or Adam.
That young Kubert boy. Yeah. That's in the same vein of everything you guys are talking about. Just the wholesome, wonderful Superman stories.
Yeah. So that, my friends, is what we've been up to this week. Rate that segment.
16.
Our efficiency was pretty low.
16.
Yeah.
Our efficiency was low. However, good times were had. So probably a B+.
Also cider.
A-. Anyone else?
All right. Main topic time, friends.
Here it is.
Oh, you know what? Dylan.
Yes.
Did you tell us what you've been up to this week?
I don't think I did.
You said you were like filming the Michaud mission.
We weren't filming it. World Cafe Live didn't let us film it, but Len sent me some tickets. So me and my lady went.
Guess we're not going to perform there.
All right.
Well, at least now when we're not invited, I'll have a reason.
This will be why.
Yeah, it's not because
they're going to play it back
Yeah.
and be like, oh, really?
Yeah. Go ahead,
we were
Dylan.
totally going to host a thing for you, but you said you want to go.
They're deleting the email
checked
right
out.
now. We're like,
I can't wait to
What
hit
narrative
send.
irony.
I can't wait to hit send. Wait, he said what?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dylan. Go
What have
ahead.
you been up to this
No,
week?
you're
Huh?
good. I checked out yesterday from your recommendation and Len's recommendation and also Vince's recommendation. Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's really good, right?
Everyone
It's badass.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Very,
Just
very.
dive in. It's worth
Cool.
it. It's
It's-
worth
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. And it was
Did you
pretty
finish
cool.
it?
No, I'm like only like 2 episodes in.
Oh,
Ah.
It's
There's
yeah,
more.
the first
Oh,
episode was badass.
more.
Like 6 of them. Yeah.
Just
You
wait.
know,
Just
there's
wait.
more.
Yeah, no spoiler, but there's like some more episodes.
And I hope some more things happen.
No
in there.
spoilers. You're not finished with it.
What? There's more work ahead to be done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Right.
glad you're watching it, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I
I'm
like
trying to get
it.
as many people to know about the show as possible.
Yeah, I'm
so
all in on it. It's
I
awesome.
mean, I know about it.
Very cool.
Just watch
I,
it.
That-
I haven't
it
watched
worked.
it yet either, but I know about it.
Like
I
I'm
know it's
aware
good.
it exists. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what we
all
should
you
do
wanted.
next week?
Talk about Saltburn.
Oh, yeah, twice again.
Because you loved it so
Again.
much.
All right, main topic time. Saltburn is the movie that we all sat down and watched separately to discuss. Written and directed by Emerald Fennell, starring Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, Rosamund Pike, and Richard E. Grant.
Can I just say, whenever I see Richard Grant in absolutely anything,
Mhm.
my first thought, and I always say it out loud to Costa, who's heard it a million times by now. Oh, hey, it's the dad from The Little Vampire. Anybody see that movie?
What's
in
The Little
2000?
I'm
Vampire?
aware of it, but I haven't
Oh my
seen
god, it was the cutest movie. With,
That is my girlfriend's favorite
it.
movie.
Really? Wow.
And
Jonathan
she
Lynch
can't.
is a
It's a
little-
Disney movie, right?
yeah, I think.
Yeah, and she can't find it anywhere.
Oh my god,
And
I bought it on
whenever
Amazon.
she finds somebody who also has an affinity for it, it's
Oh.
like kindred souls. That's her favorite. It's her favorite thing.
It's
nuts.
incredible.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one. Without a doubt, whenever I see Richard Grant in anything, that's the first thing I say.
I didn't even know
And
he was
Costa's
in
like,
that.
you know
That's
he's done
funny.
other things, right? I'm like, nope.
Nope.
This is
No,
it.
no, okay.
Nothing
Is that
important.
The vampire
is
death.
he the only actor that you do that for? Or
Yeah,
is it
literally.
okay?
Let's go
Nobody else in that movie. There are other
No, in
actors.
any movie, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It's just, hey, he's the only actor I ever recognize.
He's okay. So Richard E. Grant is just one of those guys that I see and I go,
Yep.
"Hey, that guy."
Okay, Loki.
Well,
One
now
of
you
the
can say
Lokis.
it's that guy
I-
from Little. Oh yeah, he's Loki.
Yeah.
Isn't
Little
Loki?
He's a
I-
Loki. He's
He
the
is
older
all
Loki.
Yeah. I associate him with
right.
Hudson Hawk.
Oh my God!
I think
Wow.
he's in.
Him and Sandra Bernhard are the bad guys, and
He's in Star Wars.
hear
too.
him. Yeah,
Is
he's
he?
in Skywalker,
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
Huh?
I hear him in my head say Buffy Ball, like Ball Buffy. Like, do you remember they shoot the
Nope.
tennis ball and the
What movie
dog
is this?
dies?
Oh my God, no.
It's
Oh.
a
Forgot
comedy.
that.
Huh.
So anyway,
Hudson Hawk.
Sorry, I got us on a tangent.
So anyway, The Little Vampire is about a lonely American boy living in Scotland. He makes a new best friend, a fellow 9-year-old who
Yeah.
happens to be a vampire.
And they
Here's what I thought about that movie.
They drink. Wait,
From what I've heard.
speaking of
Richard E. Grant
vampires,
is in
Oh
it.
no, don't do it.
oh,
Yeah, speaking of vampires, Richard E. Grant
that
has this
brings
to
us
say.
that brings us right
What?
back to
it's super segue
Saltburn.
to Saltburn, which is about
Distraught by his classmate Oliver's unfortunate living situation, Felix, a rich student, invites him over to his estate. Soon, a series of horrifying events engulf Felix's family. All right. Did any? Oh, and Constant says Costa. I keep saying Constantinos.
Yeah.
Costa says Little Vampire. He's
Yeah.
also in Star Wars. Did any of us know anything about this movie? Did we watch any trailers before watching this movie?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
Yeah, I did.
had, unfortunately, the bathtub scene spoiled for me.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
And I was still so unprepared for it.
Yeah.
the pivotal scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
spoiler.
just know? Were you spoiled like in that there was one, but you didn't know what was
Yeah,
going to
there's a
happen?
bathtub.
Or
Um,
like, get
I
ready because it's
knew-
crazy. Kind of
I
like.
kind of, yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of more that because I saw someone on TikTok was talking about they sell Jacob Elordi bath water candles.
Good. Candles. Those
Scented
won't work in a
candles.
bath.
And they're like scented candles. And I was just like,
soapy and salty?
what?
I
And
want
then
it to be a vial of water that I pour into my bath with me.
not just take a shot of? You don't want to just do a shot of it?
No. Oh, no. Okay. I'll get two.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, what? And then
Huh?
I unfortunately read the comments and I
Mm.
found out what happened with the bathwater. And
Gotcha.
I tried to avoid any other spoilers.
All right. Well, speaking of
I-
spoilers,
What a weird
we're
way to
not
get a
going.
spoiler.
Sorry,
we're not
I know.
going to spoil it, except for that.
Not yet.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're gonna give our overall views of the film, and then when it's time to spoil, we will let you know the spoilers will be starting. So feel free to join us. I know a lot of people probably haven't seen Saltburn, although it's out in the ether, it's in the zeitgeist. People are talking about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I knew about it. Like, every year all these movies come out towards the end of the year. A bunch of movies just get like drop loaded for award season. Drop load, is that a thing?
Yeah. That's
Um,
cool.
Sure.
I've
and
drop loaded
I'm on
before.
I'm on film
We know.
Twitter. I'm on film Twitter. A lot of people were talking about it before it even came out, and then all of a sudden, there were a million memes immediately about bathtubs and, but there was no context for them. Just that it was gross and a tub, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I knew about it, and then there's a couple of people that I follow that obsessively were talking about Saltburn. Like, you either get Saltburn or you're dumb. Or no, you get Saltburn, or I don't want to.
Or you get salt burned.
Oh damn!
Oh,
But they were, like, to a comedic effect of like Saltburn is the new religion. Saltburn.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
knew that I knew that it was like in the zeitgeist. And then I did watch a trailer, and the trailer doesn't spoil anything. However, all of the stupid pull quotes from critics spoil things
Oh yeah.
in the fucking trailer.
Oh
So I was like,
I didn't
okay,
notice.
cool. Yeah, there's a whole thing. I'll talk about it.
well, because I
I
didn't
like
watch
it in the end when this happened.
No, it's
This part was so cool.
it's you know what? It's more nebulous and nefarious than that, to be honest with you. And we'll talk about it.
In the spoilers.
Yeah.
Circle back to that.
Yeah.
So I also the director
Emerald Fennel.
did what?
I don't know.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, sure. I'll do
Nothing that
I'll
you
do
know about?
research.
Okay, fine. So yeah, I went into this completely blind. I had no idea what was happening because I covered my eyes the whole time, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
For how long before you watched the movie?
2
2 hours?
Yeah.
Sure.
But I have to say that when all is said and done, we sat there and went,
Yeah. I'm still
that
doing
happened.
Yeah.
Was sort of what my wife finally perked up and
There
said,
was an experience that occurred.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
right, yeah, it was a shared experience.
A mood.
But I think I liked it.
Yes.
I'm still piecing together my thoughts and feelings about the movie. I think aesthetically, the cinematography, the soundtrack, just
Soundtrack was so good.
right.
Yeah.
The blocking, like everything was just, promising young woman. Of course, that makes sense.
She was
watched
And I already knew that too.
She's
and I
also
forgot
an
it.
actress and a writer on a bunch of other stuff, but she was Midge in Barbie.
Yes,
Is that
knew
right?
that too. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and Killing Eve.
She's a writer on
Killing Eve is a great show. So man, that all tracks. Great.
Camilla Parker Bowles in The Crown. I knew that.
What did you think, Brian?
This was before I get into that. You remember last week I mentioned the movie I saw, Self-Reliance.
That's the movie.
Oh, right.
That's the movie. That's on my queue.
Oh, it's really good.
Hey, we
It's really
did it.
good. It's cool. It's a good movie.
Shut it down, everyone.
Yeah, we're done.
We did it.
I got to go watch
That was
Self-Reliance.
the aim of this whole podcast for the last 14 years. I said like, oh, that felt like you're in a story, like they're telling you a story, and I compared it to The Green Knight in that way, that kind of feel. And this, I feel, had a similar vibe, right? That it wasn't just, I'm watching these things happen. It was almost a remove from the events in a way, that it felt like you're at a little bit of a distance, like it is a story. And I think a lot of that was to do with the opening credits, the whole, mood that they portrayed, but the opening credits were in this almost like medieval story kind of font. And it was really cool.
With the gold laden text and illustrations and everything. It was very cool.
Yeah. And it's a larger than life for many, many people kind of thing, and a world that is happening and weird stuff and all that. So
well, it's also set up, like, to your point, it's also set up in oratory style. Like the movie starts with him recanting the events. So
right.
We know from jump this is going to be, he's your narrator and it's previous events. And then he also speaks about the main character in past tense.
Yes, immediately.
So like
right
off the bat, there's something, and then it makes it feel more like a storytelling experience as opposed to a narrative you just kind of sit with.
Yeah. So in general, I really liked it. I liked not in a way that I like most things that I like, but
I get it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I get it.
But afterwards, by the end, I was like, that was really cool. I liked that feel.
Yeah.
For that amount of time. That was cool. That was a good story. I could have done a little longer. But, I loved the set pieces, the cinematography, the weirdness, and the kind of grandeur, but something more going on to it than that. Well, I was going to make a comment, but it might get a little spoilery. So
It's like the facsimile of grandeur, though.
Yeah.
Like they are opulent and rich, but so wildly surface level. Like the way that
they got standard movie rich people problems.
But like I mean, even the way that Richard E. Grant and Rosamund Pike kind of just like respond to all things is just a hair away from being completely absurd and comical.
It's heightened.
Yeah, very
but
heightened.
it's not so much that it's not like believable.
Right,
in a
right.
weird way. Like
it's not like a madcap, not madcap, but a satire.
Yeah, the movie kind of keeps you at arm's length, but without like going off the rails, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, very deftly done.
As we were watching it, I remember pausing it for just a second and going back for just a hair, because there's a scene where you first are introduced to Saltburn, the interior, right? Like the two characters are walking through, and you see a chandelier, and the camera is up, like the bird's eye view, right, down, and there's a chandelier just to the left of the screen, and as it passes by, and I went, oh yeah, that's fly paper. So there's like, I think it's.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. What I think just a visual representation of that whole family in one shot is a beautiful, gorgeous chandelier.
Yeah.
And then there's a fly paper that's just spooled out and there's covered in flies.
And the problem is
So gross.
solved, but present.
Yes.
Visible.
So anyway,
but out of sight.
So you enjoyed the film?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. You know, it's a story that takes place in the real world, which can sometimes be a hard sell for me.
In the real world of what, 2006?
2006, yeah.
Yeah, I think they specifically say, right?
Yeah. There's like a banner.
Yeah, but you know, which is kind of untrue. Even when I watch a movie that takes place in the real world, I often like it. I just don't usually go to that. And this has a kind of a weird vibe. So, but anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah,
Alice.
I think I liked it. Yeah, I think I liked it. It's definitely been on my mind since I've watched it, and I keep looking up things about it and wanting to know more. So I think I liked it over. I don't want to get spoilers.
Oh, the spoiler. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to get spoilery.
I watched a whole. It's probably about an hour video from Screen Crush, which like all the different references and stuff you missed.
Yes.
And so yeah,
some of them were Greek mythology references, which I was heightened to because of Percy Jackson. But I'm just gonna bring it all back.
When they read and discuss Percy Jackson, that's an interesting scene.
This was 2006. The second book had come out.
I read a scene of the book club they did on Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Was out
I
of
actually
nowhere.
read
dropping hints like a new book.
A 5,000 word
Insane.
article about the companion pieces that are Percy Jackson as well as Saltburn. And you shouldn't, but like.
Yeah, because Percy Jackson ends up making Saltburn references
This is what you do. You read
ahead of its time.
You read book 1 and 2, then Saltburn.
Saltburn.
Yeah.
The first hour of Saltburn. Then you go read book 3, 4, 5, listen to the soundtrack of Saltburn, and then finish Saltburn. It's a whole fucking thing that they mapped out online.
Must do it.
It is what it is.
Very Graham Morrison.
You're right. That's the way I did it.
Yeah.
Super gods all the way.
Yeah, so I think I liked it. I definitely had the same reaction as you at the end, where I was like, well, that was a movie.
That was a film.
That was a movie that I just watched. Let me see how I feel about it. And, But the more I sat with it, I think I did like it because it definitely kept me on my toes.
Yeah, for sure.
Costa says it's all Greek to me, which is funny because
You understood it?
yeah. So you get it,
Do you
Costa?
speak Greek? Does he speak Greek?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Fantastic.
More than me.
Enough to get by in a movie like Saltburn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think I liked it.
Okay.
I definitely thought the cinematography was really well shot. It was just beautiful. Some of the shots and the colors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of the colors.
The colors.
The set dressing was awesome.
There's one scene I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about spoilers now. That like the colors were so vibrant, it like shocked me when the scene first happened. But I won't do.
Was that color red?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Yes, I know.
I liked it.
Question mark. Comma.
But I wish it was like a 5-hour miniseries.
Oh.
Longer.
Ooh.
You want more, okay.
Because
More salt, more burn.
because the fuck me. I wish it was like 4 or 5 episodes because there's the second half of the movie is incongruous to the first half of the movie in regards to like how quickly
There's a
become
pivot.
different.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the weird vibe of the first half as well as the weird vibe of the second half. I just wanted there to be more breathing room for it to kind of like really shock.
Yeah.
As opposed to just fucking
Overnight.
go hard. Yeah, overnight.
Literally overnight. Yeah.
And I know that like time passes in the movie. Are you dying? Are you okay?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't
Stay
we all-
tuned.
We're all dying. A little bit,
I
yeah.
don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I wanted it to breathe more because, like, as much as I didn't like some people and liked other people and was fascinated, like, it was engrossed the whole time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite character was poor dear Pamela.
Oh,
Right?
poor dear Pamela.
Oh,
Carey Mulligan.
Right. Carey Mulligan.
Who was on Doctor Who? I was like, oh,
Oh yeah,
as in
Blink.
one of Blink.
Yeah. But she's just there,
and then
and
not.
she desperately wants to be there,
Yeah.
and tells all these fantastical stories, and then all of a sudden she's not.
Yeah.
And not.
But I
wanted things.
I think
wanted-
that played a big part in what was happening in the story, like the
Yes.
fact, and then let you know about the type of people you're dealing with, that happened so abruptly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's a purpose for it all, but I'm talking about there was so many like
You just enjoyed it.
there were so many like little things that I wanted to sit with,
Mhm.
and it wasn't the like weird twists and shocking turns. It
Sure,
was
yeah.
the
Characters.
and all
Just
the
existing.
like the. I think my favorite was the stupid montage of them just having like 5 or 6 summer days together,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and then all the college
To
stuff.
the-
Like
To the speaking of the music earlier, and that scene,
it's
the
basically my
music
college playlist.
is very on the nose.
So on the nose.
What, Faded to Pretend by MGMT during that scene?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all early aughts pop music. Yeah, it was all early aughts pop music.
But the lyrics from the songs chosen are telling you they're telling you things about the story as you're watching it.
Do you remember any
which
of
I
it?
can't
'Cause
tell if I
don't
like or not.
remember
well,
that.
I mean, you know,
I
what,
did not notice it.
in a lesser experience, it probably would have been like really fucking annoying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's obviously the song you choose, great.
Yeah.
But because everything was so like interesting and charming and
Dreamy,
and
like
dreamy,
dreamlike.
Yeah.
and very
Yeah.
very pretty.
good
Like,
point.
yeah, the movie's
Yeah.
beautiful. There's a point when the movie changes,
Mhm.
and I wanted that to breathe a little bit more because by the time you get to the end and they go, flashback style reveal stuff, I rolled my eyes a little bit.
Mm.
I was like, I almost would rather not know that and just kind of like keep breathing with it. Yeah.
Mm.
But,
Right on.
but yeah, but no, it was totally.
Well,
worth it.
wanting more of it is certainly not a bad
No.
critique.
Yeah.
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 And I'll never rewatch this.
Yeah, sure.
Ever.
Oh, is this one of so there is a slate of films that I absolutely adore,
Same.
but will only watch once or twice. Requiem for a Dream,
Okay.
Mhm.
Dancer in the Dark starring Bjork.
But that's because those
yeah.
are
Harrowing.
yeah,
Right.
those are guttural experiences.
It's the Joker.
This
for me.
is
I'll
this is
never
not
watch
that.
again.
Oh yeah, the Joker.
I'll never watch that again.
This isn't that.
I'll
It's
never watch
just
it.
you were like
The
it was
entire
fine.
yeah, it was just
Not a revisit.
no.
Okay.
I don't need to. I don't feel the need to like really explore or study this world.
Okay.
I just wish I had more time in it for my one visit.
More new stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right on. I think I'm very happy with the length of this film.
Me too.
I'm good. I don't need to go have a mini series about it. I think I got what I needed out of this one experience.
Sure.
But I think at the end of the day, I did enjoy it. But with a sort of a smirk,
Yeah.
Hmm.
like, oh, I like that
Hmm.
kind of thing. Like it was cute. It was neat. It did a thing. But it was very expertly handled.
Yeah.
It certainly was not amateurish by any means. I think everything was done for a reason. And it was just kind of a fun romp for me.
Interesting take.
That beginning, well, it ends on a fun romp, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh my God.
For a character.
Great song choice.
But like
It
the
was a great
first, the first half of that, while it was interesting to me, it also felt. Did anybody else feel sort of anxious?
The first
Because
half.
just because I've
Yeah.
seen so many of that type of movie
Mhm.
where a poor kid
Yeah.
tries to ingratiate himself into
Sure.
the rich kid life, and it goes horribly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or gets
they
ingratiated.
get murdered.
Which-
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, because there's a similar kind of thing that where somebody just gets drawn into the world
Mhm.
without trying to. And
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
me.
they start and then they try
That's
more.
Yeah.
There's like, I forget which one Talented Mr. Ripley was.
Oh, he tried.
He tried?
Yeah, I was actually I was talking to Sushan last night. And I brought
Yeah.
up the Talented Mr.
This
Ripley.
is
It just
gonna-
feels very
this
Ripley.
is
to
getting
me.
close to spoilers.
Yeah. All right,
No, I'm
you're right.
saying a variety of these stories exist. And
Just as far as class is concerned. Yeah.
just different types of, because I think in the broader category of person is exposed
Yeah.
to this world.
I was
And there's like 4 or 5 different like kind of patterns. But all
Yeah.
of that being said, this one I thought for being similar was still a very original
Yeah.
story.
Oh, yeah.
And take on that pretty large set where person winds up in grandiose world.
Yeah. Sam says, every scene I annoyed Noel by asking, OMG, is blank going to blank?
Yeah, I know she's into something. I wasn't going to call you out, Sam, but you did it. This happened with the bear also. Any and every time that there was somebody doing something efficiently, she was like, they're going to get knocked out. They're going to cut themselves. Everything's going to fall apart.
In the beginning of Bear, Sam, in the beginning of the Bear, anytime someone's chopping something, I'm like, oh, they're losing a finger.
But
I'm like, oh, it's not that type of show.
It's just
they're good at this.
It's
Yeah,
a
they're
weird
great.
it's a weird level of media literacy that I have where I knew from like the context of the Bear is a good example. The point is to show you how good they are, not how scary they want you to feel.
Yeah.
So like and this was kind of the same thing where it's like, oh my God, is they gonna? What's a good example, Sam? I don't even know. Like, oh my God, that person's gonna trip and die. I'm like, it's not. I don't think that's the kind of movie
That wouldn't be
this is.
that would have no meaning.
But to your point, Samantha, which she hates, the atmosphere of the movie though, especially the whole second half when he gets to Saltburn on, there is so much tension, and it's just in the air. It's hot as fuck. The dynamics between the family is undetermined or undecided. The motivations from 4 of the main characters is unknown. And then you have all these new very weird patriarch and matriarch. So yeah, it was all very tense of like, oh my God, is it an occult? Oh my God, is it this? I'm like, I don't think it's that kind of movie, but I hear you.
That's the way I was. Yeah, Sam, I was the same way with that. I was like, this could be anything. Once he gets to Saltburn and starts interacting with the family there, I was like, this could be a cult. This could be some sort of satanic thing.
And they say like 2 or 3 times.
They could be bad. Like none of it was really that clear.
2 or 3 times I marked it where it was, and if you don't like it, you could just leave. And then they mention it 2 or 3 times after that, like, nobody wants to leave. Nobody should leave. Don't leave Saltburn. Like, okay. Like, they mark it so many times, you're just like, okay, yeah, anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
yeah, she thought they were vampires at one point.
Right.
Like, it was going to become
I didn't know what was going on.
There is one vampire.
He is a vampire in every appearance, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
I think his son, though.
I kept thinking of the one with Samara Weaving.
I'm not sure who that is.
Ready or Not. I kept thinking Ready or Not. I'm like,
Are
is
they
this going to
vampires?
turn into like a Ready or Not situation?
Let's not talk about
No,
it.
but it's
you've
amazing.
never seen
You would
Ready or
hate it.
Not.
I loved it.
You've never seen it?
Oh, no, I adore it. If you've never seen it, though,
I thought you said
we're not going to talk about
okay.
any part of it other than the fact that it's good.
All right. So anything else we want to say before we get into spoilers? Anything we want the people to know?
About this?
It's totally worth
Yes,
watching.
about this specifically.
It's available on Amazon Prime. It's totally worth watching.
Yeah. No, I concur.
I also concur.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Amazon Prime. You know what? This was one of the movies. Amazon Prime was like, you're going to have to pay us $2.99 if you'd like to continue watching without commercials. And I was like, all right.
No,
Yeah.
I
got me.
I just watched the 30 seconds of commercials before the movie started.
It's only
There's no
before.
interruptions during the movie.
They just told me this today. And then I was like, I'm going to do it. And then Saltburn was one of the movies. And I was like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to see commercials in that. There's also Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which looks cool. You know, I'm like, all right.
There's like 3 or 4
like this,
minutes
but
of commercials before the movie
it's
starts.
only
and that's it.
before.
Yeah.
Brian,
Hey,
do you have a subscription to Amazon Prime
yes.
that you pay for monthly?
I pay for it yearly.
Or yearly?
Does that matter?
Is anyone else a little annoyed?
Yeah.
That you already pay for a streaming service and now they've decided pay us extra because we're going to start showing you.
Here's the thing.
That's all
Here's the
streaming
thing.
services now.
I know.
That's how
Is anyone else annoyed by it?
I mean everyone's annoyed by
have
it.
been annoyed by
Everyone.
ads since the days of VHS.
Yes.
And right, like I am annoyed by
I
ads.
love previews. What are you talking about?
I love
no,
previews,
I'm not talking
too.
about previews. I'm talking about commercials during a show.
Mm.
Yeah, no, previews are cool.
Oh, you said VHS. I just assumed I rented a movie and there's previews before it.
I could see it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry.
used to tape my favorite shows.
Since the
Same.
time of
then-
VHSs.
since
Gotcha.
the time of
Got
it.
you.
And then I would
cool.
watch it back
Yeah.
so as not to besmirch my experience.
With
and
an ad
ads.
for capitalism.
Yeah,
Yes.
but now those ads would have been awesome.
That's true.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Did you actually try and like pause recording and then catch it
No, I
back
would
up?
just fast forward. No, I would just fast forward
Oh, I
after,
see.
and a lot of times I was out.
Remember
and sort of-
TiVo?
I remember its existence.
That was one of
I
my
never had
favorite
TiVo.
things about TiVo. It was like bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yep.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
And then
Oh,
there
I
it
went
was.
too far. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, I had it down. You know, it was like if I had a feel of it. If I hit it here, then it'll stop just on time. Because it takes a second to slow that
I am
down.
so weird. I don't mind commercials. I just don't. Like, it's a time for me to just like breathe. I don't care.
Yeah.
But as long as the content you're watching functions with commercials. Like, if it's a movie that's randomly cut in the middle and they go to commercials, it fucks with the flow.
I hate that.
If it's a television show, they literally have pause breaks and act breaks baked in, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. And they do. And sometimes it's weird when there isn't a commercial. Yeah. You're like, why are they in a slightly different position?
I was going to say, like when you're watching something in streaming and it's just like, oh my God. And then they come back right away. Like, oh, I needed a second.
Sometimes tell the story a little bit again.
Yeah.
Especially in older
they'll
shows.
redo the last line. Yeah. Differently.
But yeah, it's annoying. Yes, we already pay for it, but now they don't offer that anymore. Yeah, they offer this. It
so
sucks.
frustrating.
And one day I think commercials won't exist anymore. And then I don't know if we'll be around at that time.
What? Oh yeah.
I don't know.
What? Because there'll be no television.
Well, after
we'll be dead.
Money
we
is
won't
gone.
exist if there's no television.
You know what I mean?
Once the apocalypse happens.
No, maybe there'll still be commercials. They're just not in the middle of what you're trying to watch.
If we get shot into space.
Yeah.
If
we're going really fast, then time would pass here and they could develop and we'll come back and they'll be like, among other things, just no commercials.
Yeah. Great.
To your point, the streaming bubble has popped. Everything is like they spent way too much money, way too fast. There are too many streaming services that too many people have to like decide between,
like
and
MGM.
they need revenue, which is connected to like Shudder as well as AMC Plus as well as like it's all incestually mergy shit, and they don't have enough people paying enough things to not have advertisements.
Turns out all these years of all of us going, how is that a sustainable model?
It wasn't.
It's because
all these years. Yeah. See, here's the thing though. Back before streaming, I remember thinking Arrested Development specifically, and I was like, I would pay $1 per episode to it. Why don't they do that? Right? Why don't they get me to pay?
You can
get rid of the ads. No, that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's all right. I'd rather pay than watch ads.
But
you know what I mean?
But you can't. What I'm saying is you can. Like you could just directly purchase that without ads.
Yeah.
But we're opting to have overarching streaming services where that's a content that's available.
That's true.
So you could still you could go on Apple on Apple.
Sorry, Laserdisc.
Sorry, on iTunes.
Like beta? But in disc form.
Like beta.
Okay.
You can go in the iTunes shop and it's 99 cents per episode.
Yeah.
With no commercials.
That's true.
But this was not at the time. Like you couldn't do that then. Right? They canceled it. And I was like, there's so many people that love it.
Yeah. Oh, just let us pay you. Oh, I see.
Right.
Then we would buy the DVDs.
I did.
Me too.
No,
and then they brought it back.
I'm just saying, like there was always an option for purchasing, like a la carte, and the promise of it all being together for a fee was an empty promise. Yeah.
So those are our initial thoughts about Saltburn. We're gonna get into spoilers.
I didn't agree with their thoughts that they went into at length about streaming services in the movies. Remember when Jacob Elordi's character had the same argument?
It was after they read the second Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
He's like,
and they were like, but I heard the new one's going to be on Amazon and there's commercials.
On Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I'm still getting DVDs from Netflix.
Yeah, you really actually could have used the extra 4 hours and maybe just have some of it devoted to that and the rest be the story.
So, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil Saltburn starting now.
Coast is asking us to spoil him.
Oh,
you haven't seen
it?
Yeah.
Here it is.
What do you want?
So, all right, there's a couple of elephants in the room. There was a couple of scenes. So, and Alice, did you tell me about the graveyard scene?
I did.
Tell me about the graveyard scene.
So some of the stuff that I was reading, that I kept researching after I saw the movie, I saw that Barry Keoghan, he improv'd that grave scene.
Oh yeah.
Which makes me wonder, did he also improv the blood scene?
No.
Damn it.
That requires a prop.
Yeah, you need the
that requires a prop and then another willing participant.
Well, I'm sorry. Something that they came up with on the day is what I mean.
Oh,
like maybe him and her. What if we did this?
I think this is one of those improvs where everyone was like, "The fuck is he doing?"
Yeah.
I am not yes-anding.
What?
Get out of that.
You're supposed to leave.
So anyway, so that was something
he apparently asked the director for a closed set and said he wanted to try something and
interesting
proceeded to do that.
I was wondering because at the very end,
I think that's what I read.
He does his little nudie dance.
Yes.
Which is the exact reverse of when Felix takes
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oh, I didn't know it was the
through.
reverse.
Yeah, it was the
That's
exact
interesting.
reverse of like his
That's
original tour of
Right.
Saltburn.
Right.
And I was like, good for him, just flopping his nuts around.
Flipping it around. And the dance was good, too.
Yeah.
It was a cool dance.
He
The song
fished
was
out
great.
and kept the rocks, which was the most
He did what?
Yes.
insane.
So the rocks
Oh,
that
yeah.
they
With
threw
their
in.
names, he kept
And he
they
put
were-
them.
they were
and
all
he
on
put
the
them
stage.
on the dancing machinations toy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
creepiest part. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that
I'll tell you
was
what,
pretty creepy.
the final scene was, I liked the movie. It would not have been anything of what it was to me without that final scene. That cap,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was a
just
bit of a
like,
romp.
It was
It
a bit of a
was-
romp.
See?
A romp.
I didn't lie.
I mean, more than a bit, really. Is there anything more romp?
Yeah.
You know? He romped.
He
and
romped.
I loved it. And it was, like I said, it was a cool dance. And it was a very confident,
Oh.
like, it was a very confident dance
Mhm.
of ownership and
Yeah.
power. And which is not often the way that nudity is used in
Mm-mm.
film.
Mhm.
And yeah, I thought it was a really interesting choice. And it made the film, which was
Yeah.
already good.
Mhm.
It was like that kind of recontextualizes everything
Yeah.
that happens. Yeah.
And that song has been stuck in my head forever now.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
On the dance floor.
I don't
Murder
what
on the
song that
dance
was.
floor.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that was also improvised.
Ah.
Well, it was his idea. I mean,
Mhm.
you have to set up those shots.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, the dance at the end in the
the blood?
gravesite. No, not the blood.
Oh, not the
The
blood.
dance
Oh
at the
my
end.
The
God.
blood was in the script. The vampire bit.
Well,
Was anybody
sure.
grossed out? Because I had heard titterings on the internet about certain things in the movie that were like, oh my gosh, well, my pearls. I best to clutch them.
Say, rub my pearls?
Rub my pearls.
Oh my God.
It's making me rub my pearls.
I don't clutch
That's
them.
something
I
different,
just
actually.
rub them.
But
Yeah, I don't want to yuck anyone else's yum, but I mean, I wouldn't lick someone's blood off their finger, let
Okay.
alone
My own. I wouldn't even lick my own blood off my
You don't do that?
That's not
Yeah,
true.
it's
I
not
do that. I do that.
JD, you don't lick it off, you suck it. Right? Everyone does this.
Let alone
It helps.
feed someone else's menstrual blood to them
Yeah.
before imbibing it myself from the source.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I didn't think that was gross so much as like, okay,
You thought it was shock value.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
It was
shock value.
shocking for sure. You know what I mean? It was, well, especially delivered in the manner that it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I loved
very tense.
I loved the
powerful,
seconds
you know?
before it and the seconds after it.
Yeah.
So like I loved him explicitly basically threatening her, you're gonna eat tomorrow and you're gonna stay there and you're not gonna go away, which she does anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, I noticed
I was
you
just
were
gonna
out.
say she does leave.
And
still
and the shock of the underwater shot of him dipping into the tub with blood on his face.
That was
But everything in
Oh,
between
great
That was a
shot. I
cool
but
forgot about
everything
that.
in
Yeah.
between felt
Yeah.
like unnecessary shock value.
yeah.
You thought so?
Sam C says, for a movie like this, we sure waited a long time to see a floppy D.
That's true.
She did say that. We finished
What
so
is
we
this, purple
watched
I've been-
Oh, it's
we
Floppy
watched
D.
we watched it. Yep.
That was good.
Thank
That was good. Good.
No, that's what she said in real time.
Yeah. She was, she
Yeah.
was like,
I
bring me
believe it.
some
And
floppy
There
D.
was
was like,
a time
of
when
all
you
this
might have,
movie-
right? There were a few instances, a few chances when he goes out into the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah, she was
nude,
just like,
right?
Yeah,
It's
that
very
whole
weird
family
that-
was really comfortable seeing each
Each
other
other naked.
naked.
Yeah.
They were.
Which,
And they even
Bob.
like congratulate him.
yeah.
The big twist. What a twist. That was
yeah,
a good
what a
line.
twist.
That was a good
What
line.
twist.
Yeah.
Farley.
And so I was more uncomfortable with things like, hey, we're in this field. Everyone has to be naked. And I'm like, I don't think I want to be naked in that particular field.
You do the bat stuff
Didn't look comfortable.
before that.
I would do the
It was-
bad stuff and the
Yeah.
menstrual blood
They
before I would
literally-
like sit in that field ass
There's
out.
all little bugs.
Yeah.
Right?
They
Who knows where
literally
they're gonna
said there was like thorns and
Yeah.
All
the
sorts of little
thistles or
pricklies.
something.
Yeah.
Thistles.
Cold
Like, why
pricklies
not-
on my
Also
whatnots.
sort of interesting, you know, a prickly and sort of barren,
Mhm.
non-growing, but once beautiful
Yeah.
field
Oh, yeah.
that they hang
Wow.
out. You know, something that is a picture of niceness. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so I wanted this to be longer because I do think that Oliver's turn
Mm-hmm.
Oliver
happens not too quickly, but I just wanted it to breathe more because we go
I
from
think I agree with you
Hmm.
on that.
we go from his ordinary world, which is this fallacy he created to ingratiate himself to Felix.
Mhm.
He's invited to Saltburn, and then he's having a great ass time with everybody, and then literally overnight, after an indescribable amount of time that's all sped around, he acts weird, just like that. And I almost wanted that to be a slower transition into him becoming more comfortable and owning the control he's starting to like push over on these people. I wanted that to kind of breathe because it was more Machiavellian. It was creepier. It kind of like felt it. And what I was going to say, the spoiler in the trailer itself is just, it looks like crazy, but the quotes from the reviews, to paraphrase, one of the last quotes is like, one of the most engrossing thrillers of the year. And I'm like, this sure as shit doesn't look like a thriller.
Yeah.
So now I'm waiting for something
thrilling
to happen. Someone to murder, someone to kill,
right.
someone to like cheat and steal. Like I was waiting for something like that. So I kind of was more about the journey than the destination. Yeah. And when we went straight to the destination, I was like, oh fuck.
So,
okay.
I never have a quick grasp of like the events exactly as they unfold in the film. You had said just before that scene with the vampire, on the bench, that there was a scene before that where he was starting to be.
Who was in the little vampire?
Nice, yeah. Where you said what was the scene before that where he was already creepy?
Mom. He was with the mom in the field alone before dinner.
That was after the bathtub.
That was the first.
So the bathtub was the full turn. So at that point, you still just think like he's possibly obsessed, maybe sexually or otherwise, with Jacob Elordi's character Felix. Sees him in the bath, sees him masturbating in the bathtub, drinks the bathtub water. That is weird.
He slurps it off of the bottom of the tub, which is what got me.
Tongue licks the drain.
Yeah.
Because I heard he drinks it. And I was like, oh, that's gross. But like, I can usually deal with gross things. Yeah. And then I saw him like licking and slurping the tub. And I was like, this is too much for me.
And it had a white look to it too.
Yeah.
Like the water had,
Still up until that point, it could still just be a dangerous fixation.
Yes, for sure.
So up until then, I was just like, oh, he's going to be his own ruin.
Yeah.
But then the very immediate scene was him being sinister and Machiavellian with the mom, seemingly out of nowhere. And then from that point on, like, oh, he's the villain. Yeah. Like, it seemed like even though we spent an hour and a half establishing all the characters, it still felt like a very quick turn.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised too. I was like, oh, okay.
I guess I just wanted
going in this direction.
There's more to breathe. Little things that you could be that you could be convinced otherwise, like, well, maybe he's not doing that intentionally, or maybe it's still no, it literally was like that.
Yeah.
He's evil.
You're right.
Well, see, but at that point, I didn't know that whether he was doing this on purpose or if he had been drawn into this world and had been changed. Yeah. You know, because either one of those things is a person finds themselves not from this world, finds himself in this world type of story. And towards the end of the movie, before the final couple scenes, I still didn't know for sure. And I was beginning to suspect that it was the former, where he was a decent kid and he got, you know, enraptured by this stuff and changed. And I was really glad that they went the other way. I thought it was much more original and interesting that he had planned it. I didn't see the bicycle thing coming at all.
Nah.
Oh yeah, the entire time it was all a plot. Yeah.
But then how do you square the lying about his whole family?
Well,
situation?
He wanted to appear, you know, in need.
But it required like months earlier for him to make that decision to start lying and ingratiating himself.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's that whole scene where they're at the pub together, and he's there asking, like, Felix is there asking him all these questions, and you can sort of see on his face as he's answering, and Felix is leaning in more, and he starts to get more and more
he's
outlandish.
I gave you what I wanted. I gave you what you wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing like when he arrives to Saltburn, and the very first thing Rosamund Pike does is ask the same type of questions. Yeah. And then Felix is going, Mom, that's so rude. I'm like, you did the exact same thing to this guy. Yeah. But like after, you know, at least weeks of knowing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they were becoming friends.
It wasn't like, hi, let me ask you all these questions.
And in the maze, he even says before Felix gets killed, he says, like, I was putting on a show, because this is after Felix found out. He's like, that's what everybody does for you. They put on a show to press you and to get you intrigued. Yeah. So like it was all just him trying to get into that circle.
Yeah, Sam mentioned in the comments, did anyone notice that the sister and friend cousin kept mentioning you're not unlike the last one? It made me feel like there was a build up against Oliver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the other way
Yes.
around.
For a decent amount of the movie, I thought
he was
they
gonna
were
be
the
the victim.
sinister
When are they
one.
going to
Yeah.
cook
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
And I thought it was also an interesting choice that they are basically, especially the Jacob Elordi's character, Felix, were good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The other ones were, they had issues. They weren't the pillars, someone to model yourself after necessarily, but he seemed to be.
As
They
far
weren't,
as
mean?
they weren't
He
good. They
helps
just
us-
weren't evil.
Right. I think he was actually
Oh, he was
good.
the purest character of this entire
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
is
Yeah.
Felix. He was a net positive
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
Did bad things and recklessly lived his life, but not a
Yeah.
shitty bone in his body.
No,
Yeah.
took a liking to somebody and tried to help them out and was a true friend of them.
even the
Yeah.
scene, man, even the scene where they're driving in the Jeep
Mhm.
and he's like surprising him with a visit to
my
his
God.
parents'
Right.
house.
Because he
Right.
answered the phone. And
Yeah.
Oh, your mom. Like, she's,
Oh,
like,
and
she's
my-
really cleaning up her act. And,
My heart was sinking because I knew immediately. I was
Yeah,
like,
like, something's up.
"Oh, this is a big lie."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it showcases his goodness probably most at
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
You know what? I thought a little bit more about that field, right? The imagery with them in this field that was beautiful and is kind of dangerous. They're all naked in it,
Yeah.
right? It's the only time that they are that kind of happy,
Mm.
which intrinsically, I guess, maybe more vulnerable
Mm.
nakedness, right? That they are amidst this world
Yeah.
that is beautiful and dangerous, and he strips and enters that world, and then in the final scene, dances nude throughout it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
In the grass.
There's a lot of great visuals. And we
Yeah.
were talking about the cinematography, and I think one of my favorite bits about the cinematography in this movie is there are scenes in the pubs where they are someone will be here, and then someone will be all the way down there,
Mhm.
in like a whole nother kind of section of the pub. And there's a scene where Ollie is talking to his
Math guy.
his friend who sucks, the original friend.
Oh,
right?
my God.
Who
yeah.
you very boldly see 2 times, and that's it.
Yeah, he's gone.
You know, very interesting.
But super annoying character.
Yeah.
But
It's so great.
the fact that he's already
He survived.
Oliver is
True.
already sort of kind of in love with Felix,
Mm.
and that the character's right here, and he's out of focus, and all you see is Felix all the way on the other side of
Yes.
the pub.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
things
I
like that.
highlighted.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, there's scenes where there'll be groups of people, and they'll use the focus in such a way that just draws your eye immediately where it
Mhm.
needs to go.
Yeah,
It's really well crafted, I think.
very much so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We have not discussed, I think, 2 of the more interesting parts: the first party and the second party.
Mm.
The Henry's party.
The
Henry's.
Oh, the Henrys.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Henry's party.
They're
which
not
was
all
cool.
Henrys,
Very
but most of
weird,
them.
but most
Most
of
of
them
them.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a weird thing that could, but often doesn't happen in the world.
The
You know.
rich white guy problems.
Yeah.
They're all Henrys and Johns.
So many Henrys.
Yeah.
And that party was like a touch of weird.
Mhm.
You know, the karaoke scene, also very powerful gamesmanship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this song being the one that he was
Yeah.
singing, "You Pay My Rent," and
Yeah, that character,
Farley.
Farley. I was like, Furlow. That's not it. Farley.
Farley.
Yeah, it was the other character.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very
The
interesting.
American cousin, right?
Yeah,
his
or
mom is
Fran. I think they
His mom-
were.
or no, his dad. His mom was related to
Oh, okay.
Richard E. Grant and married
Oh,
an
were they
American and moved
related?
away. Yes, that was a
They
cousin.
knew each other.
Actually-
No, it was a cousin.
So
that's why I
that's
said
why
the whole
he's so-
family's weird being naked together.
Okay, yeah.
Because he walks into the sister and brother who were like right next to each other naked.
Oh, yeah.
And then the cousin's just a little further away. And they're
Hmm.
just all chilling naked. I thought it was weird.
A little bit.
Yeah,
People-
I haven't seen it often.
I know.
Yeah, no.
I tend not to do it.
About as
but,
often
you know.
as I see a Henry party.
Yeah, around.
I'd
like to see them both.
I would totally fuck up a Henry party. That sounds awesome.
I'm sorry,
That
what were
does
you
sound-
saying though?
Oh, well, the first party, which
Yeah.
was the Henry party,
Henry's.
And then the second party,
and then the
Very
second
okay.
party also exquisite.
which is the
You know, the Midsummer Night's
Midnight
Dream,
Summer Night's Dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
where they're
yeah.
all dressed as characters from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Mhm.
Sushan said, I keep waiting for him. Ask me a sum. Says Costa. That scene was awesome. Ask me a sum. I'm sorry, go ahead. Sushan was like,
yeah, you were
someone's going to
talking.
get stabbed with those
I thought
horns.
that too.
Someone's getting horn
That's
stabbed.
exactly what my
Horn
wife
stabbed.
said too.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to kill Felix that way.
Mhm. Okay.
But
Too
there's-
traceable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a
You're right.
pretty good. I didn't see it
He's
at all.
walking around with him
My-
on his head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bloody.
Is that
Guys, what?
Is that blood? I don't think so.
It's a testament to
That's
this movie,
menstrual.
though, that you guys all thought anytime there's a sharp object around, like, oh, someone's gonna get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's just
In my line of work, we see it often.
Antlers?
tripping on antlers.
All the time.
I was tripping on antlers.
All the time.
Yeah.
Every day we see that.
But what a clever
Yeah.
way of killing someone, the poisoning and then drinking it too and
Mm-hmm.
having a perfectly good reason to vomit.
Oh, did we talk about this on air? He wasn't poisoned.
It was cocaine.
It was cocaine.
He overdosed, and that's
Yeah.
how Farley got blamed for it.
Yeah, because I thought it was
Didn't he-
poison
Because
too.
Farley brought the cocaine to the party.
And so, yeah,
So,
he steals
that
the cocaine
poison,
from
though?
Farley.
He was poisoned with cocaine,
yes.
but
Yeah.
it was cocaine.
It
Yeah,
was cocaine.
I
but
did
it-
not.
He
think
died
that.
of
I
a
didn't
drug
think of it.
overdose.
Oh, I thought he got some poison, and he
No.
was like, "I'm gonna have him drink this."
No.
Pretty sure.
Because I thought the
Very
reason
clever.
it came up is afterwards I'm going, I realized that these are insanely rich people.
Right.
And they rarely see consequences to their actions. Literally, they'll close the curtains so they don't see the consequences to their
yeah.
actions.
God, that scene.
That scene's
There
amazing.
you go.
But I was like, not a single constable was like, hey, this guy's been poisoned. Maybe we should
Yeah.
research some. You guys want to check
Poisons?
this murder out?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah.
think this guy was murdered.
Doing
He's
one
got
of
all this
those
poison.
Poison parties.
And then and then Sushan was like, "Oh no, it was cocaine," and he just thought it was an overdose.
That's very clever. This
Oh,
guy
This guy's a
thought it
smart
through.
guy.
He thought it all out.
Cocaine and champagne. Sam asked, can it be poisoned if it's watered down?
Can
If
it
you-
poison you
if
if
you
it's
have-
watered down?
I
mean,
think
if
you can
you have
still.
enough
He had
of it, I
already
guess,
been
yeah.
doing cocaine
Yeah.
because they saw him in the bathroom snorting stuff.
That's right.
So I think it was
Right.
like the tipping point.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah.
With the
And
alcohol.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and he probably
Yeah.
finished that bottle. I think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There was a lot in
Yeah.
there.
But what a great way
Poor
to
Felix.
sort of throw him off his own scent. It was by vomiting.
Right.
Yeah, just
I thought that
like
was
making
brilliant.
himself seem even weaker. Of like he can't even handle his
Yeah.
alcohol,
Oh,
but
but-
really he was just vomiting up the cocaine.
The
from
cocaine.
from
Right. It
yeah.
was a great and to raise no suspicions.
Yeah.
No alarm.
I just-
there
this-
was also
Oh, go ahead. No.
there was a minotaur in the middle of that labyrinth, which
Yes.
is where the minotaur
Greek
is. Right?
mythology,
Yeah.
everybody.
If
Yes.
you notice, there are bulls and minotaurs all over that movie.
Yes. And if
Yeah.
you notice, Felix had golden wings, which so did Icarus, who was the son of Daedalus, who
Nice.
constructed the labyrinth, who also met a tragic
That's
fate.
pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty cool. On a
Pretty cool.
previous podcast of this podcast, I think I mentioned how I think Daedalus is one of extremely early science fiction story, right? Icarus.
Yes.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
not magic. It's not the gods. He, through technology,
Yeah.
does
Wings.
what to them they're like, just like we think maybe this will make us go at warp speed.
Yeah.
Like maybe if I made a set of wings,
Yeah.
You could fly.
I could fly,
Yep.
right? Science fiction. Unless they didn't think it was fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was true.
Also, the Minotaur's dick was out,
Was that?
and then
Minotaur's
his
dick is
dick
always
was
out.
out.
Was that
Nailed
the,
it.
was that the same
What?
show that we were talking about the difference between like high concept and what was it?
I don't
High
know.
fantasy. You said high fantasy at one point, and I was like, "What the fuck is high
What is
fantasy?"
Yeah.
Oh no, it was a different show, but
yeah.
that was a good conversation
Yeah.
too about
Yeah.
high fantasy. And
Like, how do
other
you describe
types of
these
fantasies.
modifiers?
Oh, one of the nice little nods is so they go to throw,
Oh.
Oliver lies about his dad's death.
Mhm.
And so fucking Felix, sweetheart that he is, like tells him about his family's what is it? It's a
Their
Tradition.
ritual
tradition
Yeah,
ritual that
tradition.
they do where they write the name and they throw it in the water.
Yeah.
And then he throws it and it
And it-
lands in vomit.
Misses.
Right.
Yeah, misses
Yeah. Oh,
him.
that's. Oh, I
How
had
did you
not
miss that
remembered that, at the
entire
time.
I know.
Body
Yeah.
of water.
Yeah.
We had
hit
to
vomit.
rewind it. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Vomit.
We don't see him throw anything throughout the rest of the movie. Maybe that's what happens when he really tries
Maybe
to avoid
that's-
throwing stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe that's
Yeah.
the origin of his evilness. He's
Yeah.
just like a shitty thrower of
Yeah.
things and just like constantly made fun of and
Oh, he's hitting the wrong guy
becomes a
and catch.
sociopath and tries to
Yeah.
It was
They play
actually
catch next to
it
each
was
other.
when he tried to play catch with his father for the first time and just hates them for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And just yeah,
Yeah. For no reason.
Yep.
Takes it out on him.
because he can't
So-
throw for shit.
I'll tell you-
Friends,
Yes.
Dylan
Yeah.
texted me. He never does this.
What?
Dylan, our producer, texted me earlier today. And he goes, "I am so excited that you guys are talking about
Oh,
Saltburn."
sweet. He didn't text me about it.
Your
so
favorite
Dylan,
movie?
I feel like I don't always. I haven't always seen the things that you guys watch.
Sure.
no, that my
Yeah.
point isn't that
Yeah.
you texted me. The
Yeah.
point is that
My point was that
you
didn't
were
text me.
excited.
Yeah,
So you watched the film?
I did.
And
I
what did you think?
I thought it was a good film.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's. I feel like me and Noel were talking about it a little bit before you guys got here, and we've kind of seemed like on the
jerks.
same page. Like
Yeah.
I come
it was a good movie.
Oh.
I walked away from it like, yeah, that was good. I don't know if I'd revisit it. I like the twist. I like
Yeah.
I like how
Wait, which,
weird it was.
the twist being
being when you find out Barry Keoghan's intentions the whole time.
Right at the end.
Right at the end, like when they show you the bike.
I got you. Right.
Like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Right. Like I thought that was awesome and like unexpected. Like I thought like, oh yeah, maybe he has some ulterior motives, but I didn't realize they ran that deep.
Yeah.
Because they really start out with you thinking, just like last year's to be tossed aside kind of guy. You start out thinking that he's the victim, and then it progresses to maybe
exactly,
not.
which is
And
usually
then,
what you think of in these types of movies that are speaking on class and privilege like that.
Right.
But like, no, it just completely took a little different turn, and I feel like a lot of people were just sort of. I feel like the grave scene and the bathtub scene sort of shrouded a lot of people's impressions of the movie. They're like, "This is crazy. This is the weirdest, most effed up movie I've ever seen."
Yeah, it's not that weird.
So much.
I'm like,
right.
no,
There's
it's
weirder
not that
things
weird.
in that movie.
Yes, it is weird, but overall, like I thought it was solid.
Nice.
Very good
Cool.
movie.
Really
yeah.
cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were about to say something, Brian. Before I cut you off.
Just the starkness of the movie. It was something that now that I think about it, I was like, that really aptly describes a decent portion of the feel of the this stark remove that you have. I liked it. If you're about to wrap up,
someone on the show had said something about like they didn't like the reveal.
The reveal
of like him having set these things in motion.
Right. Are you doing the tack in the time?
Well, that was the tack in the tire.
Yeah.
I was okay with it. I just like by then, after feeling like we spent no time on the turn, it almost rolled my eyes a little, and I thought just like, oh, it's like Thomas Ripley. That's cool.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It wasn't like this sucks. It was more like, meh.
This was just on your mom's house, but they only talked about the male nudity. What?
It's Terry talking about another podcast. Hey, I wanted
your
to
mom's
look
house
up,
is a podcast.
I wanted to look up really quickly if this is a eat the rich trope, and it's not. According to the because that's more like a destroying the rich. Emerald Fennel says that it's more lick the rich and suck the rich kind of a movie, not necessarily an eat the rich kind of a movie.
Indeed.
Nice.
So it's class satire.
Also,
but
fuck the
not-
grave of the rich.
And get all their stuff.
It's
right?
class.
Yeah.
It's
That's
class satire
Does that
with
work?
No, fuck it.
It's class satire.
It's class satire without. I forgot my point. It's fine. Moving on.
Okay.
I thought that was your point. I thought it was interesting. Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Anything else? Did we do it?
Well, I want to talk about the scene in the tub.
Let's talk about it.
Venetia.
Yeah.
Oh, the scene. I
Yeah.
forgot. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's my favorite part of
so
this
good.
movie. Actually,
Okay.
that bit of monologue.
I'm gonna admit
So
that when I was like Googling stuff about the movie, I found a which character are you quiz, and I got Venetia.
Venetia.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know if I would have liked
what color is
anybody.
your hair?
It was literally like the worst
You
quiz.
enjoy your own menstrual
Do you like to
blood?
take
Wait.
baths? Like,
Does your name start with a V, or could you see it starting with a V?
do you want it to start with a V?
But
but-
that's one of those things where I was like, that acting is so good.
Really?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the scene with both of them in the tub, but then like the quick shift later when you find out she's dead to you get that quick shot of her dead in the tub filled with blood, and she is like gray.
Yeah.
That was just so shocking.
Now,
Yeah.
as someone who works in the field,
You're
in the
gonna
blood field, how is the blood in this movie? Would a blood tub look like that?
Not any blood tubs that I have seen.
Okay.
But I've never seen somebody entirely bleed out.
I feel like you would have to have a way more blood to fill a tub of blood.
They're very rich.
Yeah.
That's very rich blood. When they say it's a little too rich for my blood,
Yeah.
All the blood
it's not
they
too rich
want.
for her blood.
No.
Hey, Noel just took that quiz. He's Felix.
Oh, nice. That's fast.
I'm the blood.
You're the.
I'm the blood in the
What an
movie.
interesting addition to the quiz.
Yeah. You're the menstrual blood.
The whole character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which
Oh,
blood
specifically
are
the
you?
menstrual
I'm
blood.
the menstrual.
Yeah,
We're
there's
talking. Go for it.
several bloods that you
Taking
might
the
be.
quiz
So, continue talking about
He's gonna take
Venetia.
the quiz real quick.
No, but I was trying to think of that if that was like a realistic depiction of
Yeah.
what a dead person who entirely bled out looked like, but
What do you
I have
think?
actually never seen that in real life. But she looks like waxy.
Yeah.
It's
But like that happens sometimes with dead people. They
Oh.
look a little waxy.
Well, I mean, it was also like it looked like it was just colored the tub water for a like it
Yeah.
wasn't like
Got
all
into that.
blood. It was
No,
just
no.
But
Yeah.
it
just
still
died,
shocked
right?
me. Like I was like,
Beautifully
oh, it was
billowing through.
yeah. It was a beautifully shot,
Yeah.
Did he
like grotesque
Still
scene.
sort of, yeah.
he put
Yeah.
the razors there? Did he just
Just did it.
incited her to do
Yeah.
it, or he
I
did
think
it
so.
himself?
Oliver.
I'm Oliver Quick.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The wait is over
I'm
and your
gonna
friends
move
are coming
closer to
over.
Brian.
Yeah.
You just want a chill night
Probably.
with those you can trust, so grab the popcorn and drinks and have some fun.
Wait, I screenshotted
All right,
my
buddy,
Venetia
here,
quiz.
go
So
for it.
oh, I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all taking the quiz.
Hang on a second.
My Venetia said, it's literally just a sentence. No one knows much about you. You may not be the most balanced person.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
I didn't actually read.
It is.
I didn't actually read the.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, you gotta do it
the
again.
description of.
Do you remember your answers?
Well, it
He
was.
was
Yeah, I
Felix.
do. I do
Oh.
remember. I was-
Sam C says, JD, no, that track. I'm the sociopath who kills an entire family.
All right, you have to be honest. Have you drank Noel's tub water before?
Only
I-
Was
twice.
this for a party? Is it oh, just twice?
I mean,
tonight.
twice.
I,
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't in the tub.
Oh.
I took it out of the toilet.
You put it in the
Oh.
bottle like I
Toilet
wanted
water.
with the
Yeah.
Jacob Lordy thing? Yeah.
Young Chunk Instagram is gonna have a hard time finding the proper clip for this episode. That tracks. My boyfriend's boyfriend.
I'm your boyfriend's husband.
Her husband's boyfriend.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm your husband's boyfriend. Oh, I was surprised that Farley made it out of this movie unscathed, considering the
He got
the-
framed for Felix's death, but yeah.
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 Sure,
but
but-
like,
But
not
yeah, no,
prison time,
he's
right?
I
alive.
get it. Yeah, that's
like the
yeah,
way
he
that
got-
he
he did get out of
treated
there.
Oliver.
He got a good handy.
back
He was the
to-
scapegoat.
alive.
He made it out
That's
alive.
true, and it had a whole psychosexual thing going on.
Yeah.
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 He had a
Really liked it.
psychosexual thing going on. With
I don't
a
know
couple
the.
people.
I don't know any of these.
So-
songs.
So this was. That's a
That
really
one-
good.
I guess that one
That's a really
sounds
good
cool.
point. That's one of the reasons. What's one of the things that made me think.
I think I would
Or
like
I
that
started to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
rolled my eyes a
Cool.
little bit, right,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the reveals at the end.
Yes.
Because they were doing that like speed round of the tire and this, and he did this, and he's killing the mom. Part of me thought it was gonna be a Farley walks in and shoots him in the head, kind of a
Oh,
thing.
that's not the one
I
wanted.
thought.
Which because it all became
All right.
very
here we go.
formulaic in the last
What am I wearing?
3 or 4 minutes. I
Yeah.
was like, and then Farley walks in and
Bam.
I think you look.
So
Yeah.
I had the same exact thought.
Oh, you're Farley.
But not Farley.
That's not what I wanted.
I thought it was going to be the butler.
oh yeah, Duncan.
I don't
Duncan.
know.
I thought it was going
Oh
to
my
be
god,
Duncan.
wait, I loved Duncan. He
Yeah,
just, like,
I thought-
showed up all the time.
I don't know. You
What were
guys were
thinking,
off in your own
that
world.
one? You
Sorry.
thinking
Yeah, that's
Wait,
what I was going
Are
to pick
you
for
helping him with his own quiz?
No, I was just telling
didn't
him
know the
which
songs.
you have to pick a dress
Just
that you'd
pick
wear
one
at a
that
party,
sounds
and I
cool.
thought he'd look good in the black one.
The black one.
Yeah.
The black one is nice, and I
But you
appreciate
picked
that.
the red
I
one.
just
That's beautiful.
It's got stuff going on.
That's
with it, which I thought
yeah.
was
The
cool.
butler
That's
with the
more
gun
of
in the
like
long
black
room.
tie.
A
This
little-
is a
and, like,
cocktail party.
It's like a little avant
What-
garde.
Yeah, a
which I
little
like.
What's
bit.
the
Yeah.
what's the quiz result?
Oh, Farley. Oh, that
Wait.
was you too, right?
No,
No,
he
you
was
were Felix.
Felix.
Oh.
Read
Farley?
what's the
Yeah, right?
description?
We all got different fucking characters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's just probably a random.
You know what's nice
Yeah.
though is I'm the one
What
at
is
the
it?
end who gets to dance around with my dick out.
That's true.
And I'm
So
the.
you guys are all in
I
grades.
could do that in the middle.
I mean,
Yeah.
I burned bright, burned out, but I burned
that's
bright.
true. And you are
did.
the best guy
I
in the
lived-
movie.
I lived a hell of a goddamn
Yeah.
life for like a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and clearly like the good person. Oh, you're Farley. Potentially the greatest person in the movie, not seen contextually, but we all knew that he was nothing like he saw on
Oh yeah.
screen.
Oh no, he worked at he worked at soup
really
kitchens.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all of this was like kind of just a weird weekend for him where he's play
Yeah,
acting.
yeah.
It's weird that they would know that. How
Yeah.
does what is this, BuzzFeed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
BuzzFeed is so wise.
No, what does it say? All right, let's see here.
oh.
It's time to get your dance moves ready and turn on the karaoke. Oh,
Huh?
I've turned on the. Actually, I haven't. I've sung
You're
when they said you can
never
sing
in charge
now.
of turning
I
it
don't think
on.
I've turned it on. Maybe I have. And your friends are expecting some fun. I don't know what that has to do with me. So maybe I
hated
can help.
Farley. Farley was the worst.
Go on and sing at the top of your lungs.
They
Don't.
really
that it?
focused on the singing
This
part
one
of his
scene.
character. Yeah.
What song did
Yeah.
you pick?
What song did I pick? Fire for You by the Cannons.
Oh, I
by
picked
Cannons.
She-Wolf.
I put
obviously.
I
She-Wolf.
put She-Wolf
Fucking
too.
obvious.
by Shakira.
Rush was a strong choice,
I'm
but then
gonna-
I was thinking of the band Rush.
I thought that.
No, Troye
Yeah.
Sivan. All right, let me.
All right.
Wally West likes Rush. Jay.
Just I'm probably going to rewatch that Venetia tub scene at least one more time.
Sure.
I
It's so
Google
good.
imaged it just because I wanted to like look at it again to look at the colors and be like,
Oh.
okay, did I see what I thought I saw? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean
Wait,
I
what?
don't mean the blood water.
oh, the blood one.
I
I'm
mean
sorry.
her when
I
she's
was just,
acting.
I'm just a morgue worker
Oh,
who was
yeah.
like, let me
Yeah.
look at the crime scene.
No,
But that was a
Like-
beautiful scene.
It was. It was
Yeah,
like
you'll
grotesque
finish.
and lovely.
You'll-
But no, that
yeah.
that scene where she's, oh my god,
Stranger fucking danger.
Danger. Yeah.
This is such a boring
Yeah,
description.
she knows, right?
Congrats.
She
Yeah,
knows
oh.
he's
Everyone heard of. You're Felix Catton. I didn't know that was their name.
Felix the
Oh,
cat.
Catton.
I've had it.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of that this whole time.
Congrats, everyone heard about
We
the
mentioned
epic
it
party
earlier
you're
in the
throwing.
show.
Hurry up and finish the final touches. People are on their way. Have fun. He is insipid.
Yeah.
And
I will.
I got that I'm unbalanced. So
I
want to rewatch the final scene.
Yeah, the dance.
Yes, that scene, like
the floppy
it was
D.
so good, and like the music was good, the dance was good. It was just a cool scene, and like I said, I mean, it was like it made the movie, even though the rest of it was good too.
It's like it's a scene that just directly came out of a director's cut of The Eternals of Druig.
Right, I forgot and they were like, "How do we get to this moment?
Yeah.
What story can we craft to get to the dance?"
It was reverse
scene?
engineered.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Such a good movie.
Cool. Yeah.
We did it. We're done.
Alice.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, everybody. We did it. I also just want to say you guys are my number 2 streamed podcast on Spotify. My
cool.
Spotify
Your
wrapped.
own podcast?
Live a better
What?
life.
No, my fourth was my own podcast. First was the Office Ladies podcast.
What do you listen to more than yourself? What's number 3?
Number 3 was Dimension 20 D&D podcast.
Oh, okay.
And then
And then the Office Ladies.
Office Ladies was number 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a cute one.
Yeah.
Hey,
tell,
have you?
Tell the people. Shut up. Tell the people about your show.
Oh, so yeah, I am a forensic autopsy technician. And my co-host and friend is as well. And we have a podcast called Inside the Morgue. And what we do each week is we watch a different crime, like procedural or forensic show, like your classics like CSI, Law and Order, NCIS. And we basically just like rip them apart for what they get right, but we do, or what they get wrong, but we do. They're too accurate. They're too accurate.
Get let that information out there.
The most accurate. Yeah.
They're giving away all our secrets, and no, they're what they get wrong, and we give them credit for what they get right, and then we talk about a little true crime that the episode's based on, because they all say this isn't based on a true story, but they all kind of are. Huh. Yeah, and we even watched some movies. We watched some scary movies like Autopsy of Jane Doe.
A two-parter. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Awesome. What a great... I love both of those episodes. That was awesome.
That was probably my favorite one to record.
The movie was great, and the podcast was great.
The movie is a good movie.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
What movie was it that we had like not exactly a crossover, but you had just watched whatever we were watching, and I think you wrote
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Because we watched that together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely needed a coroner's perspective for that movie.
Yeah. I can't say I've
Couldn't
ever
hurt.
seen someone get chomped by an animatronic, but
Yet. There's still time.
You know, yeah, it's true.
Robert Monroe Jr. asks, when's Alice coming back? And Sam C doubled up on that. That's a good question.
I want to come back. So the reason I'm usually never been a guest before is because I'm usually recording my own podcast at the same exact time. But I'd love to come back.
Any chance of moving?
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to Jess, but
Now, do you guys work together?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah, we work together doing autopsies.
That symbol that Sam did, it means I agree with the thing above this?
It's like
This.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why don't they give us an arrow? That would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably could have. I don't know what the options for emoji are in this chat.
No, it's fine. I mean, I get it.
All right.
Maybe she did an arrow, and that's just how it.
Oh, it's true.
It's probably like a little question mark box.
It
and you're
read as
like,
a carrot.
Why are you
don't know.
questioning
Yeah.
this?
You know what?
You should be happy.
Cheers.
Punch in another one.
Let's cheers.
Let's
Cheers.
We did it, guys.
We
Clang,
did
clang,
it.
clang, clang.
This trend is a side arrow. Oh, also, wait, can I shout out? You
I
can
agree
follow
with
us on at Inside the Morgue Pod, POD, because at Inside the Morgue was taken by someone.
What are they up to?
I don't know. They only had 90 followers.
You didn't check it out?
They were private. They didn't accept my request.
Whoa.
They're
And
private.
ironically, they only
Inside
broadcast
the
from
morgue.
outside the morgue.
Yeah.
Or
How do
they're
you
inside the
know?
morgue and I haven't found them yet.
Oh,
It's a podcast.
it's true.
It's a podcast for people locked in a morgue.
There you go. You got your
There
arrow.
you go.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
very nice. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much, and we'll
Sure.
talk at you later. We did it.